What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Neeks Sports and welcome back to another episode of your Champions League weekly roundup. Top of La Liga, 37% possession. Not a shot on target. Not a shot on target. I have to say, Diego Simeone is an utter disgrace. Diego Simeone is an utter disgrace. You're supposed to be the best that Spain has to offer. You're supposed to be the best that La Liga has to offer. And this is what you come up with. This pathetic performance is what you come up with. I was very disappointed. I was wholly disappointed by that performance. I'm not gonna lie. I think Chelsea, for me, going into that game, they weren't the favourites. Atletico Madrid were the favourites going into that game. And I expected them to perform like favourites got in that game. And they played like the underdogs. Now, I know Atletico Madrid's normal way of playing is generate a counter-attacking football. But they didn't even counter-attack. They just defended, 6 on the edge of their box. Couldn't string 2 passes together. This is the best that La Liga had to offer. Because we know it ain't Real Sociedad. And we know it ain't Barcelona. And we're going to get on to Real Madrid. But Atletico are top of La Liga. And this is the best they had to offer. Really? Really? I was absolutely disgusted. Absolutely disgusted. We're going to go into a bit more depth. I'm going to bring a couple of people in the back. We're going to bring them in. Bayern Munich doing what Bayern Munich do. I mean, did we expect any different? I mean, I guess the most surprising thing is that Lazio scored. I think that's probably we all knew. We all knew that Bayern Munich were winning that game. And that was the most given of the whole night. Over 2 weeks of Champions League football, we knew Bayern Munich were winning that game. 4-1 away from home. Game set, tie, finished, done, dusted. And on today's game, I mean, Man City and Mönchengladbach, for me, that was another foregone conclusion, just a matter of how much. And Real Madrid, you lucky bastards. Let's bring in the guests. I'm here again with Shane and Father, Chelsea fan, Man United fan. I'm going to come to Father first as a Chelsea fan. Thomas Tuchel going over the Wakanda, I don't know where they play, Metropolis, but that's not there. It's not there. They were playing somewhere else. Where were they playing? I can't remember where they were playing, but it wasn't Bucharest. Okay. But you went away from home, wherever it was. It wasn't at Stamford Bridge. You went away. And, I mean, a lot of people are calling it a Thomas Tuchel masterclass. Are you in that camp? Are you saying absolute masterclass?
I wouldn't say masterclass. I would just say it was, I think it's a solid performance by Chelsea. And not only that, and I just think if you look at Simeone's tactics yesterday, that's not the Simeone that we used to know, where he always playing attacking football with flair and finesse and that. That's not what he used to. That's not that his tactics yesterday. I just think yesterday I think he's a little bit panicking because of his missing a couple of players.
I think so as well. I wonder, do you think that the fact that it was Thomas Tuchel was up against, that he overthought it? Like, if it was up against Lampard, Chelsea were playing the way they were they thinking, all right, would they be thinking, let's go out and try and score some goals? But because it's Thomas Tuchel, obviously got PSG to Champions League final last year, he's thinking, oh, it's going to be a harder game than maybe he should have been thinking.
There's a few factors, though. One of them, yes, maybe he's thinking like what happened with Chelsea this season and that. And I think in the past, I think they both met before. I'm not too sure. And the fact that he knows Tuchel really well in the Champions League, and we all know he knows that Tuchel going to play this kind of style of football. And the second thing is like we've been in this situation before where we play Atletico Madrid, and the fact that Simeone is fearing of Chelsea. Simeone is because since yesterday's game, yeah. Apart from Liverpool, apart from other English clubs that have played Atletico Madrid, Chelsea is the one that I fear the most. And yesterday's stats say the Atletico only lost 2 home games and against all English clubs. That was Chelsea.
Mm. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm gonna come to Shane just now. A couple comments here. Conrad said, Neeks, these tactics were like Alex saying to Terry, let me finish. I mean, Atletico couldn't finish their dinner. I say their dinner. They barely served anything, let alone dinner. Hala Madrid says, Simeone hates the game we all love based on the way that he plays. And he says, yeah, Simeone plays the same way versus Elche. Well, to be fair, Hala Madrid, you did say that Chelsea could beat them. They're not as good as the league table suggests. And the way they've been playing recently, that gap is closing. That gap, Barca won today as well. Real Madrid have been eking out wins. Even though they haven't been playing brilliantly, they've been eking out wins and closing that gap. And Damian Perez says, Man City looking good. We will get onto them in a second. I'm going to bring in Ramsey, but I'm going to go to Shane. What did you make of that Chelsea Atletico Madrid game?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
For me, Simeone got his team selection completely wrong. I don't have a clue why he put Lamar as a flipping wing back up against Hudson-Odoi. It was Lamar was playing far too wide, and the left centre back for Atletico Madrid, I think it was I'm not even trying to pronounce his name, the Spanish lad. There was too much of a gap in the left on Chelsea's right channel, which Chelsea gave them a few warnings against. And they played with pretty much one. They played with one striker, Moto. In fairness to Chelsea, I'll give them a bit of credit in terms of Tuchel did set up the team quite well. He had Hudson-Odoi playing very, very wide, which gave the space for Mount to go into that left channel, which they gave a few warning shots to Atletico at times. But for me, Atletico Madrid were just shocking. I think 80% of it was Atletico being bad, to be honest. I thought they were shocking. Defensively,
They were.
If he plays 4-4-2, that issue would not have happened. Because he would have had Lottie as a left back who would have played very, very narrow to stop, the half spaces being exploited, and he would have probably had Lamar as the left midfielder tracking the fullback. His tactics were just completely off. And do you know what? I'm not gonna hype up Chelsea's victory too much because they've spent 200 million quid and all they can do is beat the Spanish fucking Burnley.
You see me. I'm gonna come to Ramsey just now. There's a comment here from Hala Madrid says, to be fair, Atletico have some key injuries, especially Trippier and Carrasco. And on that, and also CFC Time says Chelsea were average, Atletico were awful. Ramsey, do you think the injuries can be used as an excuse or a reason for Atletico's performance, or do you think Chelsea just outsmarted them, outplayed them, and deserved the win? They were always the better side. What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's time to respect Tuchel. I think it's time to respect
God.
Tuchel. I do.
They drew Southampton. They drew Southampton.
I do, but the thing is with Tuchel, these boys are solid. These boys are solid, and it's so weird because the football's not pretty. The football's not flamboyant, but he's coming. But you know what? Sometimes as a new manager, you got to come and make a statement, and sometimes you have to come in and just steady the ship. I think this is a steady the ship job, because Frank Lampard has come in, and with the play, you see with Frank Lampard, right? You never know what you're going to get. You could get him win 3-4-0. That they could have won 3-0 yesterday with Frank Lampard, but they also could have lost 3-1 and be out of the tie. They also could have lost. Free. He could even conceded 3-4. The way with Lampard is so erratic, so up and down. Whereas Tuchel, whatever happens, he was always going to be in that leg, the second leg. And it's not massive. 1-0 is not massive. Simeone can always, and Atletico can always score in the next leg. We saw Liverpool, they lost the game in the last 5-10 minutes of the whole 2 legs. You know what I mean? So it can easily happen, don't get me wrong. But Tuchel with the 3-4-3 Conte style, it just looks solid. And it's like it don't even matter who plays. You could have Rudiger, Christensen, Zuma, James or Hudson-Odoi, Alonso or Chilwell. It's like
I don't know about the Chilwell part. Chilwell struggling in that
he's struggling to get in. He's obviously more suited to a 4, but there's options. You know what I mean? And the fact that he could bring on Ziyech, Pulisic, Havertz, in the 2 number 10 slots, if you like. He's got options, and he's got this sort of Giroud, Tammy up front, whoever he needs to go to. And I just feel like he's got a style of play, and it's working. It's working for Chelsea.
I'm going to come to Father in a second about the Giroud Tammy debate. I'm going to bring in Epic Ning quickly. Epic Ning, there's a comment here from Mo Wada says, we play them on Sundays, obviously Man United Chelsea Sunday. Let's see how good Tuchel is versus the PE teacher. Epic Ning, do you have to put some respect on Tuchel's name?
I mean, he's a good manager, man. The media were like rolling up, weren't very happy when he came in and just saw that the performances were boring, even though they were winning the games, and their boy Lampard got sacked, and I think still some people have some bitter taste in their mouths after Lampard being sacked. But I reckon Tuchel will get top 4 this season. And I think we'll get a lot of backing this summer, and let's see what he does next season in it. So, and
Can I just say this though?
Go on, Shane.
Atletico are out. I bet on my life.
Well, that's what I was just about to ask Epic Nin. Who do you think is going to go through from the tie at this point?
I think, out of the big teams or like
between Atletico and Chelsea, who's going through?
It's a tricky one because. Because Atletico are good to do comebacks. You remember last year with Liverpool, they were like 1 or 2-0 down or something, and they managed to claw it back, and then they win the tie, and then the next round, they got knocked out. But it's a tricky one. But I reckon Chelsea will edge it still, because it doesn't look like Atletico have a good transition in attack with the defense. To be a good defensive team, you have to have a good attacking transition to score goals, etc. But hey,
thank you very much, Epic Nin. I'm going to bring in Samuel. I'm going to go to Father. What about this Giroud Tammy debate? Now, obviously, Giroud scored brilliant goal. Everyone thought it was offside at the time. I'm sure your heart, I don't know if your heart was in your mouth, but everyone was I was just sitting there waiting like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And the longer it went on, you just knew, they're going to award this. Like, what are they looking at so deep? They're going to award this. Brilliant goal. He's been important for you in Europe. Like when you won the Europa League, I know, what's his name? I think Hazard got player of the tournament when clearly Giroud was the best player for you in the tournament, even though I think he scored 2 in the final, but he wasn't giving man the match as well. Yeah. Going forward, I don't know if you're going to suggest he can't play every game. I don't know. But considering Werner is in the team, I kind of guarantee he's going to be playing week in, week out. Who would you go up front, especially in the big games, Giroud or Tammy?
Especially in big games, if I have to choose one, I would go for Giroud, because I think with Tammy in that, Tammy's been inconsistent lately, and Giroud is Giroud's that kind of guy, like, he's not that type of player like Tammy in that, but I think he's more physicality than Tammy. And I would say Giroud, man, if I have to choose that. But yeah.
Samuel, Arsenal fan. I mean, I don't know. We got two Man United fans, 2 Arsenal fans. We're all playing tomorrow, and we're all trying about Champions League
in the proper competition.
It's true, the proper competition. Samuel, what do you make of that Atletico Madrid Chelsea game? Were you impressed by Chelsea, or were you just disappointed in Atletico?
Neeks, the title you put there. What if Atletico won? It would be the exact opposite. You'd be seeing Simeone masterclass. This is the way.
No.
I mean, he won the league without playing this football. He got to 2 finals. You can't really call him a disgrace.
I don't think he's a disgrace overall in general, but for that game, he's a disgrace. I put him in the group chat. I think it was about 60 minutes in, maybe. I was like, Atletico, and I tweeted as well. I said, Atletico are playing absolute like dog. It was terrible. And I got a few people messaging saying, well, this is what they do. They're going to nick it. I said, no. This is not what they do. They can't even string 2 passes to counter. Yes, he likes to sit deep and counter attack. They had 0 shots on target. If that's not disgraceful, Samuel, I don't know what is. I don't know what is.
So now, do you think that will crack down the Ollie out brigade? Because apparently this is one of
No, they didn't. Listen, they were rating Tuchel. They were like, see, you got a system playing in 6 weeks, and our manager's been there 2 years. And I'm like, okay, but if we were playing that football, you will be cussing like we were when LVG was at Old Trafford and we were shouting attack. So isn't it? Some people you can't please, innit? Let's move on to the Bayern versus Lazio. I mean, I say move on. We're gonna move on, and we're gonna move on very, very quickly. Because what is there to really say? I think the only thing I can really ask, are Bayern, I got to Ramsey first, are Bayern favourites for the Champions League? Because I mean that's a very, very comprehensive 4-1 battering and just keep it moving, really.
Yeah, they are. They're sort of wiping teams, taking teams apart all season. I mean, they've had the odd games that they've lost, and it's interesting because I feel like they are asserting themselves as the best team in the world. We had teams come up like Liverpool. We thought those in the Premier League thought they were the best team in the world, and we saw what Bayern done last year and this year, and so you know what, fair enough, Bayern are the best team in the world as it stands. It's just whether or not they can have a bad game and go out, because they've played bad in some games in the Bundesliga, lost games. You think, why they're losing? Conceded goals. You think, why are they conceding? So it'll be interesting to see whether defensively they are as good in the big games, but especially going forward, like it's literally they got abundance up there, and obviously with the addition of Leroy Sané this year, just makes their case even better.
Before I got to Shane, I wanted to respond to this comment from Jordan Brown, because I should have said he has won La Liga when Barca and Madrid were dominating. Listen, go on.
Martino was manager of Barcelona at the time, and he was one of the worst managers.
No, yeah, but they still got like 90 odd points, so it was still a very good achievement. They reached 2 Champions League finals in 3 years or something like that. So listen, respect to Simeone.
They lost the 2 finals in a penalty shootout in an extra time because they got tired.
It was a last minute equalizer from Ramos, which stopped them from winning, and then they lost the last one on penalty. So they've come very close in it. But I do feel that Atletico can, just to go back quickly, that they can come back. As long as they don't play like they did in the first leg, I think getting Chelsea on the break is a very is a high possibility. They just have to, I think, be a bit more confident. Chelsea are, I would say, there for the taking, but they're beatable. Chelsea are beatable. I say that, I like that. Yeah. So Atletico shouldn't be scared going into the second leg. But yeah, sticking with Bayern, Conrad says, what a player Jamal Musiala is. It's a shame he picked Germany over England. Was 17 years old, the youngest ever goal scorer in the Champions League, I believe, or at least in knockout rounds. And yeah, he's chosen Germany. Further, Bayern Munich, you don't want to, if you get through, they're the one team you want to avoid, surely.
Surely, yeah. Surely. Like at this stage, yeah, I would love to, if we somehow go through against Atletico, like I would love to prefer like FC Porto.
Oh, team. Of course.
or maybe like, you know, if Atalanta can somehow pull out an amazing comeback in the second leg, who knows, you know? But at this moment, I think Bayern Munich and Man City probably the team that we are trying to avoid.
Mawada says City are favourites. Samuel, would you agree with that, or do you think Bayern Munich, that 4-1 victory kind of just said, yeah, don't think, just because we dropped a few points here in Bundesliga, we made the Bundesliga title race exciting. Don't think that we fell off. We're still here. Lewandowski still scoring goals, 3rd highest goal scorer in Champions League history.
For the past 3 years, we've been hearing this as well. 2018, City are the first. 2019, 2020. It's the same thing, rinse and repeat. 2018, You know, it was Liverpool before they hit their peak. They were 3-0 down in half an hour, wasn't it?
Yeah, Anfield, yeah.
Yeah. And then they lost 2-1 after going 1-0 up in the first leg. They complained about the, I think the refereeing in that game when the Sané goes this and that, but you know it happens at time. And then the following year, Tottenham Hotspur, Hotspur in the quarterfinal, and you can't even beat them. You know, the goal was offside, but City bottled it too many times. Last year, I think that was the
Leon.
icing on the cake. You know,
That was the worst.
Leon, they were 7th Liga, I should say, and they still Raheem Sterling misses from 3 yards out, blew it in the goal in typical Raheem Sterling form. They crash out 2 minutes later. Leon score, make it 3-1. So City, no matter what happens, everything will go wrong. They're just snake bitten and cursed at UCL.
Listen, I hope so, innit? Because the way City are moving, 19 wins in a row, Shane, as a Man United fan, you must be bricking it. I'll tell you why. Because in 2019, I was bricking it. 2019, they won the domestic treble. So if they had beaten Spurs, which they should have, they would have probably won the Champions League that year. I know Liverpool always going to be tough, of course, we know. So they could still have lost to Liverpool in the final. But I think Ajax would have been the semi-final, which I think they would have won. But like when that goal got disallowed for Raheem Sterling in 2019, I was celebrating like a Spurs fan so heavily because I was so scared that our treble would be either matched or beaten with a quadruple. This season, Shane, as a Man United fan, do you fear that City could actually again go for a treble/quadruple?
Yeah, they could definitely do it. They've got the squad to. When you look at the bench today, I think they had Mahrez on it, Aguero, Torres, De Bruyne. The bench is ridiculous. They've definitely got the squad to go for all 4 competitions. But the thing is with City, I think they've got a bit of a mental block when it comes to the Champions League. I personally think they're the best team in it because I don't really rate Bayern's defense that much. I thought you were going to
say you don't rate Bayern.
No. Defensively, they're very, very easy to get chances against because of how high they play. But I would still make them the favourites purely based on, their attacking output, and they've got Lewandowski. But City could go for all 4, but I think that it's very, very hard to do, Neeks. Like, no one's done it before. It's so hard. So,
that's the thing. I think that's the thing. Every year, like, there's always these different records in it. Arsenal's unbeaten one. It's like every year, as a team is unbeaten, it's like, can they do it? Can they? And then they lose. Like, whoever it is, whoever they lose because it's just so hard to do it. And the treble, it's like, we're in all competitions. And then in 1 week, you're out the League Cup, out the FA Cup, out the Champions League, five points behind the title race. Like, it can just all crash down. We know Man City's going to win the league. Yeah. They're in the, like, I'm just like, Jose, please. Like, please win. I beg you. Obviously, we're in the FA Cup, so we've got a say in the matter. But the Champions League, like, I'm just waiting. I don't think I can relax until they get knocked out. I'm just going to be on tenterhooks, just like, all right, who are they going to draw? Like, do I want them to draw Bayern next? Probably not. Because if they knock out Bayern, then it's just a long 2 months of me just sweating and stressing.
I want the throwback. Champions League quarterfinal, Liverpool against Chelsea. That would be a proper throwback, bro. Come on.
Oh, 9, yeah. That was on.
Yeah, but the thing is, in this current state, it's going to be a proper throwback. It's going to be like 0-0 in the first leg, 1-0 in the second leg, because Chelsea don't like to score. Liverpool can't score. Like, it's going to be proper Rafa Benitez, Jose Mourinho, run it back to 2005. I'm here for it, innit? Because at least one of the teams are definitely going out in the next round. I mean, that's if Chelsea go through. I think Liverpool, as we discussed last week, for me, are through. Jerry has just joined us. I don't know if you there? Yeah. We're gonna move on and talk about Man City. Sorry.
Real
Madrid at Atalanta. Now, I don't know if you lot watched the game.
I didn't.
You did. Ramsey, you watched the game?
I didn't. No,
I did.
I was watching Man City.
Anyone watch it? Who watched it? Just me?
No.
Sam, you watched it. All right.
Yeah.
Was it a penalty? Not a penalty. Was it a red card?
From the area of the pitch it came from, I think it was a red card. I think it was justified. But every time even if the Real Madrid player leg was broken, they would say Madrid, UEFA Madrid. It's the cycle with these Spanish teams. UEFA Lona, UEFA Madrid, no matter what happens. But I think it was a definite penalty. I think
red card.
Yeah, 100% on my eyes. The thing about Real Madrid is, I think 2019 they scored 2 away goals. They were 2-1 up against Ajax, and what happened in the next leg? They lost 4-1. And now, they've got some suspensions. Hopefully they can stay injury-free, because Atalanta are a free-scoring team. So
they are, because it's a shout out Monster in the chat and put some respect on Chelsea's name. Listen,
Tell him, Monster. Yes.
Listen, we will see on Sunday. If you can beat us, the second best team in England, on Sunday, then I'll put some respect on your name. Right now, you're sitting in where are you in the league? 5th, 6th?
Fourth.
No, man, West Ham must be 4th.
5th.
West Ham 4th or 5th.
Yeah,
they're
about try and get ahead of West Ham. West Ham are the
Southampton.
kings of London right now. Thank you very much. But yeah, if you can beat us on Sunday, then we can talk about respect in it. Not unless in a win.
Class.
I said I ain't saying too much in it. Ian says, "What if City win the treble?" God no.
I didn't.
Why, Jordan? Why you have to put that anyway? Listen, yeah. When it comes to Real Madrid, I think they got lucky today. They got lucky. I do think it was a red card, just like it was on the borderline of yellow to red card, because Ferland Mendy did kind of push the ball slightly to the left, so you could argue, oh, it's not going to be a clear goal scoring opportunity. But I think for me, especially because the referee gave it, I wouldn't have overturned it. If he gave a yellow, again, I wouldn't have overturned it. I think it was really on the borderline. So I'm cool with that decision. But Atalanta, as you said, Samuel, yeah. Yes, Jerry.
I also want to talk about Real Madrid, so okay?
Yeah, I'll come in a second.
Okay.
But yeah, as you said, Atalanta, free scoring. So they were playing with 10 men. But it was like they were just like, it was normal for them. Like, whatever, we're still going to try and go forward. We're still going to attack. They could have got a penalty, but I think, who was it he was up against? Was it Casemiro or someone else? Vasquez. He just got the ball ahead of the Atalanta attacker. And I think, listen, they were unlucky. That absolute, I'm going to say brilliant goal. But when I've looked back at it, the keeper was a bit dodgy. He's slow to get across. The shot didn't have that much power with a weaker foot from Ferland Mendy. But it's a big win because you win 1-0 away from home. That's an away goal. You take it back to Madrid. I know Casemiro's out, but they've got a few people for them hopefully coming back.
But this is the only team you would say in the Champions League that if you take a 1-0 lead, it's not guaranteed, because they, no matter what the scoreline is, they'll continue to attack you no matter. So it's a tax till I die.
Yeah, it's true. Like for them, home or away, I think they got a chance of scoring away goals. So I think a 0-0 today would have been terrible for Real Madrid, because I think Atalanta's scoring away, but 1-0, I think you have to take it. Real Madrid have to take that result. Jerry, what do you want to say about Atalanta, Real Madrid?
The thing is, when I saw that Real Madrid stand low, I saw that Isco playing striker. I was like, no, these guys are getting pammed. I thought Atalanta were going to win, because don't get me wrong, Atalanta are still a good team, and they have a very good youth system, and that's where Armadillo came from. And Real Madrid, they've won it. They won Champions League 3 years in a row. 3 years with Cristiano Ronaldo in his peak. Yeah,
it's a long time ago.
And
as well.
after, I know, and that's the thing. And what they have, there's so many players in that squad that are past their best. Marcelo is past the best. Carvajal is past the best. So many players like Modric, Isco. There's so many players that are past the best, and they need to start rebuilding, use more young players now. And there's so many players that they should not have gone rid of in Real Madrid. They should not have gone rid of players like Hakimi, Reguilon. They should not have got rid of them. They should have kept him and used them more. And they should move players on. And that's the thing. That's what Zidane should have done.
Jabba says Zidane is one. Zidane is one hell of a tactician. With an injured Benzema, he played Isco, the false 9, we're dominant even for the red card. Second leg will be a goal party.
Yeah,
I don't know about what. I don't know about one hell of a tactician.
Nah.
I think that's a reach. That's a big reach. You dominated the ball, I think, and it was very much down to the fact that they had 10 men. like before the 10 men, they were counter-attacking a bit more than they did without the 10 men. And as the game goes on, it becomes harder and harder. There's one less man on the field. Zapata, I think he came off injured. So, tactician, I don't know how many clear-cut chances did Real Madrid actually create. There was a Vinicius one that he skied over the bar. That's the only one I can really remember. That's the only one I can really remember. So, a good win. But I don't know about one hell of a tactician. I'm not having that. But but listen, there's one of these days we have to really see. Ahmad says Zidane is a fraud. One of these days we have to have a serious conversation about Zidane, and I'm talking about it in terms of the fact that, as Mawada said, he gets too much disrespect. A man have won 3 Champions Leagues in a row, including the La Liga. You can't fluke 3. You can fluke 1, maybe.
That
an easy draw.
The last one in the Champions League. They fluked the last one.
No, they didn't.
No, last one was
they did. They got battered by Bayern in the semi. They got battered by Bayern.
Listen, but even if you say they fluked it, it's 2 legs. But remember, say they fluked it, cool. You can't fluke 3 in a row. So somewhere along the line, you must have done something right. And then Ram says, Neeks, one name Ronaldo. Well, it was Bale who came off the bench in the final. Like, I mean,
in the whole head kick as well, man. In the final.
Yeah, I mean.
No way.
Better be careful, Poch. But the league, it's true. They're chugging over there. What is going on? Zidane is a fraud.
No, come on, man. There's a reason he won 3 Champions League.
Listen, as I said, one of these days. No, I'm not having it right now, but one of these days. Because he also won a league.
I don't I wouldn't say it's fraud.
Sorry, it's 2. And not 1 La Liga, it's 2.
Did he?
Okay.
Last season.
Yeah, last year.
Of course. See, come on, guys, man. When Pep Guardiola does it,
his name.
When Pep Guardiola does it, he's the greatest manager of all time. Zidane does it, fraud. Come on, guys, man. Come on. This is madness.
The game is the game. That's what it is, Neeks.
Say that again?
The game is the game.
This is absolute madness. I can't wait to see it get knocked out, because I'm gonna my title will be Pep is a fraud. So you lot carry on, innit? You lot carry on. But listen, in terms of over the 2 match days, 2 weeks, so the 4 match days, last week to this week, for you, what was I'm gonna go around from Ramsey right round. What's probably Rams in the chat? Neeks is a fraud. What was the standout tie or like the highlight match for you, Ramsey?
Over the past 2 weeks. I mean, the PSG Barca result is too much of a big deal to just ignore. 4-1, and you could say Kylian Mbappe standing tall by himself without Neymar above Messi. It's a statement that could be massive in the long term. When we're looking at the end of Messi and the start of Kylian, and I say the start, I mean he's been here, and he's won a World Cup, playing a massive part in it already. So whatever he does for the rest of his career, he's got that in the bag. But this could be all right, I'm here. It's time to step up the game. And genuinely, that one result alone, depending on what happens for the rest of the season, is pushing him towards that Ballon d'Or.
Ooh.
Wait, say that again. That one result alone.
That one result, and that one performance, right? When you look back over the year, if PSG obviously have to do,
they have to win the Champions League.
Yeah, they have to do that. Well, they have to get to at least a final, depending on who it is.
Well, because if they say they lose to Man City or Bayern, there'll be someone in that team who will probably win the Ballon d'Or.
Potentially, I don't think Man City player. I don't think it will be a Man City player. I just don't. But if it's not, I think there's more chance of it being a Bayern player. But if you can get them to a final and play a big part in the role, like you look back at that game and you think that's where it's changed hands. That's where the legacy changed hands.
Listen, all I say is if you're gonna say Mbappe could possibly win the Ballon d'Or this year, then his biggest threat to the Ballon d'Or is Bruno Fernandes, isn't it? That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Sorry, you keep your mouth like that.
What if he wins the Europa League? Yeah,
exactly. Exactly.
I want to say Bruno. That's if Neeks. That is if. No, that is if. No, Neeks. That is if if Bruno wins the Premier League and the Europa League, then I'll
No,
probably say
then
Bruno.
end
We're
the
not winning
conversation
this
then.
Premier League.
You're not winning the
Jerry,
I
conversation.
know we're not winning, but
So
if he
Jerry's
does,
saying
I know what if he
Bruno's
does,
not winning the Ballon d'Or. Then that's what Jerry's saying.
he's not.
Yeah.
No one winning the Europa League, man. No,
No,
it
this
has
The
to be
Europa League can't
Champions
win a
League,
man a
man.
Ballon d'Or. They can't win it. That
Why
Europa League
not?
cannot
I'm
win a
out,
man a
win it.
Ballon d'Or.
No, but you're saying Europa League win it. Like man's just a spectator in the crowd watching them lift it. Don't forget that.
Has anyone won a Ballon d'Or? Has anyone won a
Yes.
Ballon d'Or the year that they won the Europa
I think
League?
Yeah,
Ronaldo,
yeah.
Ronaldo might have.
No.
98. Ronaldo.
Yeah, I was
98.
gonna say Ronaldo, UEFA Cup with Inter and all that.
That's who was the best player in the world. That's why. Come on.
Damn.
But the thing is, but even without the Europa League, look at what Bruno is doing. He's doing an absolute madness.
Doesn't matter.
Absolute madness.
Doesn't matter.
A
And
beast.
that's sometimes that is a problem. Sometimes that is a problem because we do look at results and we do look at the winners and say, yeah, it's gonna come from there unless it's Messi or Ronaldo, because the levels are so good, the levels are so high. Don't get me wrong. What Bruno's
That's a
doing,
Jude.
what Bruno's doing, he's got to be up there. He's got to be up there.
He
And I
has
think
to be. He has. If he continues this through to the, because put it like this, for me, he's favourite to win the PFA Player of the Year, and Man United ain't winning the title.
Facts.
So it's plausible. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but if he carries this on, that would be
he could make the team of the year. He can make the team of the year.
Has he not already made the team of the year?
Yeah, I'll say he made the last team of the year.
Yeah, consistency. Well done.
And he came in
I'll
I'll
January
say
as
this
well.
though:
Don't forget that.
if Mbappe wins the Champions League and the Euros, he's nailed on to win it.
Well, that's what I'm gonna say. Portugal in the
The
Euros.
Damn, I forgot about that.
Don't forget
When
Portugal
Bruno-
as well. Those
when
are
Bruno-
No,
important.
France are going to win it. France will win it.
Nah,
Yeah, the
listen,
Euros.
Ramsey
The
Neeks.
Euros is
You know, I
Yeah.
forgot. Some Euro games are at Wembley.
Yeah, listen, Bruno's gonna FA Cup Wembley, Euros Wembley. Man gonna come back Community Shield Wembley. Listen,
Has he-
all right, say
Wait,
nothing.
I swear, has he seen Wembley yet? Did Chelsea touch him up? Chelsea touched him up at Wembley, didn't
He scored.
But that was a consolation
Penalty,
goal.
but he scored.
Consolation. You're 3-0 down. Come on, it was a nothing penalty.
It was a stat, isn't it? It's a stat. Add that to his goal tally. Yes, Ahmad, I'm very, very serious. Poch ain't winning manager of the year, if that's what you're thinking around there. Just relax, innit?
Allow it. He's knocked, man.
He's a PSG.
And you're still
fan.
third in the table as well, Ahmed.
It's mad. But listen, oh god, PFA Player of the Year, Giroud. Is even Chelsea's Player of the Year about PFA Player of the Year? Man can just about get in the team. But no, listen. Okay, I'm not gonna go around. Samuel, who was your standout player of the first legs?
I'll say the entire Porto team in my eyes, because what they did was very courageous, and the way they played from the first second of each, literally from the first whistle in both halves, they just went from the goal.
I mean, you're cheating, but okay, you can have that one. I said stand-up play. You said I'll Porto. All right, I'll give you that one. What's the biggest shock? That's what we're gonna go.
Yeah,
biggest shock, Porto. I'll give you that one.
I see them going through the next leg because Pirlo isn't an experienced manager. They started this Frank Lampard, Mikel Arteta-esque project where they went with a former player manager.
Ollie.
Ollie, no. Ollie is just a failed experiment. I'm joking because, Ollie already had experience.
Hey, it was manager, man.
Ollie's been managing for 10 years before he came in, but it was literally 1 week as Juventus B manager and he came in to Juventus first team. That's the fastest promotion in the history ever. Literally.
That's worse than Arteta's and Lampard's, because at least Lampard's managed Derby and Arteta's been at City.
I mean, yeah, that
you know what? Mbappe stand-up performer as well, but the biggest shock I would say is Porto. What would you say about Pirlo? Would you keep him in weeks if he?
Listen, they're not winning Syria. I never expect him to win Syria. As a matter of fact, I said if I don't think Hapoel said this. Well, what Hapoel said was if they let Pirlo win Syria this year, you have to induct the whole league into the Brick Academy, expel it, just disintegrate the league because it's embarrassing. What I said is, if Conte allows him to do that, Conte is a fraud. How can Conte go to Inter Milan, buy about 25 players, and then let a real PE teacher, a man who started the job without even his qualifications, win Serie A? So I wasn't expecting them to win it. They were terrible under Sarri. and they just about scraped over the line. And I always felt they were going to get worse under Pirlo, and they have. So I think, and I would hope, me from the outside, with no footballing experience other than Football Manager, can't speak a lick of Italian. If I know that they're gonna struggle in Syria, I would hope the people that hired him would know that as well. So I think if you're gonna hire him, you expect that there's gonna be some tough times, and you're gonna have to kind of see it through. If they've seen enough, they'll keep him on for at least another year and see what he can do. They're gonna have to change the team. We've got a lot of old players.
I'm doing this for the first time in 10 years. A team other than Juventus.
Yeah, 9 years in a row. It's crazy.
But Allegri.
Well, you can't do that. You're trying to move it to another direction. That's a
wait. Can I ask you something?
Don't go back. Don't go back.
That's why they went.
I don't know what direction you're going in, but go back.
That's what they went.
Allegri was the last man that wasn't Juventus manager to win the league with AC Milan, and then he won it with Juventus. Yeah.
What are you saying, Shane?
Can I ask you something? I don't rate Juventus' team that much, but is it really much worse than Milan's? Is it really?
It might not be, but it's just. But I think it might not be, but it's just done. It's just finished. It's tired. It's old. It's weary. It's past its sell by date. Like, you can have worse teams in terms of man for man quality, but you can also look at Liverpool, for example, this year. We know they've had injuries, but the team is past its sell by date. It just needs to be refreshed. And that Juve team has a lot of stale elements to it that just need to change. And I think you move into the direction of Sarri playing that style of football, but with a team that have only ever played this counter-attacking or direct football. So for me, it's not even about man for man quality, and they probably will finish above AC Milan. So then that argument, we don't even think about it at that point. They'll probably finish above AC Milan. But they're not better. They're not better than Inter.
You know what I find crazy about? The season before Ronaldo came, they were locked in as one of the best European title races I've ever seen with Napoli. They finished with 95 points, and
Napoli had 87.
No, Napoli had 90.
Who was that under? Not Ancelotti, was it?
Allegri.
I mean,
Sarri was Napoli man.
Oh, Sarri. Oh, okay.
It was Sarri's last season, wasn't it?
Yeah. And you look back at it, it's like, how do these players get that much higher points without Ronaldo? Because Ronaldo's carrying them right now. That's
I mean, where carrying them where the third? I think they're relying on him, but he can't do it anymore. He can't just score at the mammoth amount that he was anymore to really drag them. He needs help. And for me, Dybala, like last year, Dybala's the key, because he's a real creative spark. Ronaldo is a goal scorer. He's a real creative spark, and when he doesn't play, they look so bad. Same thing on Sarri. When he wasn't playing, they look so bad. So yeah, I think, and as I said, when you bring in a Sarri, when you bring in a Solskjaer, when you bring in Arteta, Lampard, for me, you should bring them in with the thought that it's not going to be easy. So to sack them the moment it gets hard, for me, is not the right decision, unless you've kind of just gone away from that plan of long-term, process, blah blah blah. So yeah, I think they should just stick with Pirlo. I'm gonna bring in Ram here. Ram,
yes,
you having a fight with Ahmad in the chat.
Yo, this is my unpopular. This is gonna be funny. My unpopular opinion was Thiago Silva is the most overrated defender of all time.
What?
I'll tell you why. He did it in the Farmers League, and the man was carried by Alessandro Nesta, the true one of the GOATs in the centre back position. He is overrated. I'm putting it out there.
Father, as a Chelsea fan, talk to me, innit? Talk to me.
He's won everything. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he did it in a Farmers League and was carried by Alessandro Nesta.
Listen, for me,
you want everything he's won everything but a World Cup and a Champions League, innit? So
what did he do in the Copa America? He did nothing in the Copa America, bro. Like, well, come on.
I mean, I understand where he comes from.
No, but he was started though.
Nah. He did nothing. He did absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I kind of understand because all-time great. You need to win the Champions League or World Cup and lead your team to it. And you look at your Maldinis, your Nestas, your Terrys.
Yeah, but
even
no, I don't think no one rates
Ramos.
him like that. No one rates him like that. So to be overrated, that's if people are talking about him as one of the world's best defenders ever
of all time,
then yeah, I would say he's overrated. But no one is. I've never heard him mentioned.
All we've ever said is either at any point he's the best defender in the world or one of the best in the world. Like before Van Dijk.
What would you rate? Would you say he's been one of the best in the last 15 years?
No, it's 15 a bit long. 15 might be a bit long still. Because when you think 15 is going back to 2006, and you had Rio, Vidic, for example, Terry. So I'm not going that far, but I would definitely say in the last 5 years.
10.
10. We're going what? 2011. Maybe in the last 10 years. Maybe not for the whole 10 years. But in the last 10 years, yes, he's one of the best.
What did he do at PSG, man?
In fairness, I wouldn't say he's better than Ramos.
No, Ramos is an all-time great.
Tell me what he did at PSG that was
Ramos.
spectacular.
I'll take him with him.
He won, innit?
I love Ramos.
What did he do that was spectacular? He didn't take.
He scored against. Didn't he score against Chelsea in the Champions League? A header. I'm sure he did.
Is that spectacular, Nick?
Yeah, man. I was there. I was in the away end for PSG, and I was celebrating.
That's David Luiz, though.
Oh, you saw David Luiz?
Exactly. It was David.
And then wait a minute, and then what?
And Silva at the end, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a Silva disco. Yeah, I was there.
That's why he had a stinker at Anfield when PSG lost 3-2.
I'm telling you, he was carried by Nesta, the only true testing league that he played in. And he did nothing at PSG.
Right. Okay, how do you rate his season so far?
What's he done this season?
So I asked you, how do you rate his season so far?
About a 5 out of 10.
Nah.
Graham.
This guy's been the Chelsea's best player of the season, man.
To be honest, I would say he's been the second best defender in the league, behind Diaz.
No.
As in this season.
No.
Yeah.
Well, how though?
Who's the other options?
Hey, Maguire.
Hey, John Stones.
No,
Tyrone Mings had a better season than Thiago.
Maguire's been good, man.
Tyrone Mings. Didn't Tyrone Mings play Rodri on side? What?
Wait, Ram, has Fabinho been better centre back than Thiago Silva?
Oh yes, definitely. Definitely.
I knew he would say yes. I knew he would.
Tell me what he did at AC Milan was great, yeah, but Nesta carried him though. Nesta carried him.
When you say carry, just because Nesta's the better defender doesn't mean he was okay. How would you rate John Stones this season so far?
Been meh.
I think he's been good.
I think he's been there. I honestly think
he's been solid, but it's a partnership.
Oh, it's a partnership,
and they work well together. Like him and Stones has been good. You can't say he's not been. You can't say he's been any less than good. Like
in fairness, Thiago Silva made Zuma look half decent.
Wait, sorry, what?
Yeah.
I didn't catch Zuma look half decent.
If it was John Stones and Laporte this year, or maybe John Stones and Ake this year, John Stones may not be as good as he is. But doesn't just because he's playing with someone better that makes him better doesn't mean he hasn't been good.
So
wait, did you say that he made Zuma look?
And this is
he made Zuma look good, yeah. But it's like when Maguire.
Zuma's not even that great though. Zuma hasn't had a good season. All he's done is score goals. He's basically the French Martin Skirtle. He's the French Martin Skirtle.
Martin Skirtle was your best defender. Go on, Jerry.
Shut up.
This is similar to my Maguire. Maguire looks bad when next to Lindelof. The only way he looks good is when he's next to Bailey, when he's very solid. That's why partnership work is important.
The centre back has always been a partnership. It's always been a partnership.
Wait, Rams, do you rate Varane?
No.
Oh.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Because if you rated Varane, I would have thought that you might think that Ramos carries him.
No. I know Ramos carries him.
Ramos rates Van Dijk, man.
Listen, after Lynn Skills, I can't even chat to you. You're an Arsenal fan. You're beneath me. I told you on
can I
I told you on tier. I told you on the Football Terrace. It's him and Mo. They come as like Batty and Bench, 2 peas in a pod. It's like, oh yeah, Skills, yeah Mo, yeah Skills, just bashing each other off. Get out of here, man.
Wait, can I just
Samuel and Ramon?
Can I just
You sitting in 11th behind Leeds, newly promoted Leeds. Get out of here, man.
Team now.
I wanna say that Simeone's a moron.
Big up Skills.
I'm sorry, Simeone's a moron. He is actually a moron. I can't deal with it.
God.
I can't deal with this. If he bottles the league, he's the biggest moron I've ever seen. He is the biggest moron I've ever seen.
Listen, just because you've got nightmares of what happened at Anfield with him, okay? Just leave the guy alone.
No. That's not because of him, bro. That's because of Adrian. Adrian gives me nightmares.
Okay, and what was the score when you played them at the Wanda Metropolitano? What happened?
I don't care. We were winning the tie until Adrian came on.
No, you lost that game.
Yeah, we were winning the tie when Adrian came. When Adrian did his stupidity. That's the main fact. When Adrian did his stupidity.
Okay, take that goal out then. Atletico Madrid still go through 2-all. They still go through 2-all.
Guys.
No, but you could also say.
All right, stop.
And the third one.
Stop. I'm not with me. There's 3 managers who you have to keep the eye on as I end the stream. Diego Simeone, he dare not bottle that league. Antonio Conte, he dare not bottle that league.
No, Neeks.
Wait.
Okay.
And Mauricio Pochettino, I dare him to go all the way to the trophy-laden PSG and come back without the league title. Lille are ahead of him. That's what I'm gonna say. Josh has joined the stream. I don't know. I'm not sure you are, Josh, but you've joined too late.
No, but Neeks, the thing is,
guys, it's done. Champions League roundup. We're talking about things that don't need to.
It's on the Poch thing. Hang on. It's on the Poch thing.
Neeks, we haven't talked about Haaland.
Hang on. Wait.
We didn't talk about who?
A forward, man.
The thing is, right? If Poch,
we say
Haaland.
As we spoke about him last week.
We haven't talked about Haaland.
I was talking about him last week. Listen, big up Haaland, innit? Big up Sancho. Big up Mbappe. Guys, I'm done. It's
Oh, Neeks, wait.
What? Hurry up!
Hang on.
Hurry up!
If Poch bottles the league, right, it doesn't make any sense. You know why? Because when Unai Emery bottled that league, Monaco, you can say that Mbappe.
Monaco were brilliant. Monaco was brilliant.
Lille don't have anything, and they lost their star players in Nicolas Pepe as well. So
no, they've got Samara. They've got
no. What? Wait, they got rid of their worst player Nicolas Pepe. They got rid of their worst player Nicolas Pepe and strengthened their team. That's what happened. Thank you very much, guys. Hit the like and subscribe button. We'll see you soon.